Welcome to Signal Post Daily, your human-curated, AI-delivered tech and AI news briefing, episode 18, for Saturday, November 8th, 2025.
All right, John. What's happening in the gaming world today?
Well, Jess, it's the full gaming edition, and we've got some massive releases happening, stuff coming down the pipeline, and I'm honestly excited about this lineup.
Okay, so let's dive in. What's the big story kicking us off?
Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is launching next week, November 14th, and it's a huge deal for the franchise. This is the 7th iteration, and preloading just went live.
Wait, it's day one on Game Pass too, right?
Exactly. Microsoft's putting it straight onto Game Pass, which is a massive move. That alone tells you how big they're treating this.
So what should players know if they're thinking about grabbing it? Like, what are the system requirements looking like?
Yeah, so on PC you're looking at, let's see, a minimum of Windows 10 with an AMD Ryzen 5 1400 or Intel Core i5 6600. You need 8 gigs of RAM and about 116 gigabytes of storage. That's just at launch.
116 gigs? That's honestly not too bad compared to, previous Call of Duty releases.
Fair point. For recommended specs, you want Windows 11, a Ryzen 5 1600X, or an i7-6700K, 12 gigs of RAM, and that same storage space. If you're going competitive or Ultra 4K, you're bumping up to a Ryzen 5 5600X, an RTX 4080 or 5070, and 16 gigs of RAM.
That's actually pretty reasonable for hitting Ultra at 4K. So who's this game for? Is it just the hardcore Call of Duty fans? Or is there something different about Black Ops 7?
Black Ops has always been the more grounded, campaign-focused entry in the Call of Duty universe. It's got that spy thriller vibe, not the modern warfare stuff.
So it's less cinematic and more tactical?
Exactly. And the fact that it's launching on Game Pass means, so many players are suddenly going to have access who maybe wouldn't have dropped $70. That's a game changer for the community.
Definitely changes the accessibility picture. All right, what's next?
So switching gears completely, we've got something wild. Warhammer's getting a Vampire Survivors style game.
Hold on, Warhammer. Like Warhammer 40K? That's such a weird pairing with Vampire Survivors.
I know, right? But here's the thing. It actually makes sense. Auroch Digital announced Warhammer Survivors, and they're working directly with Ponkel, the team behind the original Vampire Survivors.
Oh, wow. So it's not just some knockoff. It's legitimately collaborating with the original developer?
Yeah, and Games Workshop is involved too. So this is officially licensed Warhammer 40K meets that bullet hell roguelike action. You can play as a Space Marine, Acadian Shock Trooper, or switch over to Age of Sigmar characters like Gotrek Gurnason.
Gotrek? Now that's a name I haven't heard in a while. So it's got that, grimdark power fantasy thing going on?
Exactly. Imagine just absolutely brutally eliminating waves of Tyranids or Skaven with chainsaws and greatswords. It's got all the Easter eggs, weapon variety, and that frantic action the genre is known for.
When's this releasing?
2026, so we've got to wait a bit. But it's already up for wishlisting on Steam, so you can get in line now if you're interested.
I'm genuinely intrigued by that one. What else?
Okay, so bouncing to Nintendo now. Hitman. Absolution is finally coming to Switch, and I mean the OG Switch, not Switch 2, on November 13th. That's literally next week.
Oh, so you can grab it soon if you want?
Yeah, it's being released digitally for $29.99. Feral Interactive ported it over, and it's got over 20 missions where you're taking out targets and, doing all those sneaky assassin things Agent 47 does best.
Is this the same Hitman Absolution from years ago? Or is it updated?
It's the same game, but it's optimized for Switch. And here's the cool part. Contracts mode is coming in a post-release update in 2026, so you'll be able to, create challenges and compete with friends.
So it's not the full feature set at launch, but they're supporting it post-release?
Exactly. Which is honest, They're telling players upfront what's coming and when.
Fair enough. That's respectful to the community. What about Switch 2?
Well, speaking of Switch 2, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is getting a Switch 2 edition, launching December 4th, and it's getting some real technical upgrades.
So this is like a next-gen version of the racing game that just came out a few months ago?
Yep. The original Sonic Racing launched in September and already hit over 1 million units sold, which is insane for an arcade racer. Now they're bringing it to Switch 2 at $69.99 for the digital version.
What's the upgrade path for people who already own it?
There's an upgrade pack for $10, and it's actually 50% off until December 10th. So you're looking at $5 to jump up to the Switch 2 version if you already own the original.
That's really consumer friendly. I like when companies do that. So it's genuinely more than just a port?
Yeah, they're calling it technical upgrades, which I'd assume means better graphics, potentially higher frame rates, the usual next-gen stuff.
And this is like one of Sega's first big releases on Switch 2, right?
It seems like it, yeah. I mean, there's a physical cartridge version coming in early 2026 too, so they're really committing to the platform.
Nice. So we've got releases spread across both Switch platforms now. What's the final story?
Okay, so finishing up on a really fun note, Overcooked 2 just launched on Switch 2. Like today, you can grab it right now.
Oh, that's perfect for a Saturday. Just drop it and play with friends?
Absolutely. It's $29.99. And get this, if you own the Switch 1 version, you can upgrade for $9.99. There's also a 20% discount on both versions for the first week.
So cross-progression works between the versions?
Yep. You can transfer progression back and forth between Switch 1 and Switch 2. Plus, you can play cooperatively across platforms, so your Switch 1 friends can jump into your Switch 2 game.
That's the kind of feature that actually matters. Like, not everyone upgrades their console immediately. So what's different about the Switch 2 version?
Enhanced graphics, 4K resolution at 60 frames per second when docked, which honestly sounds gorgeous for a cooking game. And they added this thing called camera play, so you can see your friends' faces while you're all screaming at each other about who burned the eggs.
Wait, that's actually hilarious. So it's specifically designed for, like, catching the chaos?
Exactly. And there's a new character too, the pristine platinum platypus. I don't have context for that, but it sounds delightful.
A pristine platinum platypus? That's wild. But honestly, Overcooked 2 is such a good party game. It's the kind of thing you can pick up and play with literally anyone.
Right? No barrier to entry, just pure cooperative chaos. And with Switch 2 out, more people have access to this version now.
Yeah, it's a perfect launch title for that kind of multiplayer experience. So let's recap here. We've got Call of Duty on Game Pass Day 1, Warhammer Survivors coming next year, Hitman, Absolution next week on Switch OG, Sonic Racing on Switch 2 in December, and Overcooked 2 available right now on Switch 2.
That's a solid lineup, honestly. Something for everyone, from hardcore tactical stuff to party games to arcade racers.
Pretty great week for gaming. So if listeners want to weigh in on any of these releases, what they're excited about, what they're passing on, whatever, where can they send that feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. Drop us a line at feedback@signalpostdaily.com or slide into our DMs on the socials at Red Mesa Studios. We love hearing from you about what you're playing and what's catching your attention in gaming news this weekend.
And honestly, whether you're into competitive shooters, roguelikes, stealth games, racers, or party games, there's genuinely something here worth checking out this week. November and December are shaping up to be really solid for releases.
That's what we love to see. Keep sending those tips, questions, and gaming takes to feedback at signalpostdaily.com. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with us today.
Bye-bye.